The Elections Act in its current form requires all persons seeking nomination slots ahead of the March 4, 2013 general election to be registered members of their preferred political parties at least 3 months the deadline for submission of the nomination lists, which falls on January 4th next year. That means any Kenyan current members of parliament included eyeing nomination slots should be bona fide members of their preferred political parties by the 17th of this month, according to a critical election timeline schedule issued by the electoral body IEBC. However, in an attempt to navigate through that legal requirement, a section of members of parliament put up a spirited fight to rush Isaac Ruto's election amendment bill through the lawmaking stages. The bill sailed through the first and second readings with ease, despite opposition from some members of parliament who insisted that the bill was seeking to legalize indiscipline in political parties.
That over 150 members of this House were going to be affected with these deadlines, which could have been avoided. In my view, Mr. Speaker, I thought we made a bad law, and this House has a responsibility to rectify.
Mr. Speaker, we do not intend, and I don't think any legislation should intend to limit the enjoyment of rights, enjoyment of political rights. And Mr. Speaker, it has to be understood further that members of parliament are also members, are also citizens who are entitled to enjoy such rights.
Mr. Speaker, we're moving towards the general elections. Several things are happening. We're seeing a lot of party hopping or whatever it's supposed to be. But Mr. Speaker, should we allow that, then we beat the very purpose for which the Elections Act was meant to and hopes to achieve.
Members of parliament supporting the amendment bill claimed the Elections Act had infringed on the rights of Kenyans to associate freely and was therefore discriminative.
If one was to wake up at the middle of the night, Mr. Speaker, at 2 p.m., at 1 a.m., Mr. Speaker, and he wanted to join a party, then there should be no law, Mr. Speaker, that should subject such a person not to exercise the freedom of conscience that that person wants to exercise, which has been given, Mr. Speaker, by the Constitution.
People should stick the parties they want, at least 6 months to the election date. I see no reason as to why people should be now panicking. Even if we pass this thing today, my appeal to the President is to reject it.
Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say no? The ayes have it.
With that, the bill is to the third reading, where members of parliament would have made a verdict on its fate through a vote. However, 3 members of parliament promptly raised objections, insisting that the bill was being rushed unnecessarily, denying them an opportunity to make any meaningful contributions.
Please let us look at this matter soberly. The Elections Act is very, very fundamental, and it affects almost everybody in this House.
If, come tomorrow, we are forced by some certain situations to declare that half of this House should go home, half of government should go home, the coalition government should collapse, and we don't have registered members, we don't have voters who are registered, you have not even passed the election rules, and we are still going for an election. We are creating a catastrophe.
I don't think the Honourable Minister is in order to mislead the House, that if members of the Parliament leave the House, then the coalition will be dissolved.
Order. If you have your own ad hoc House Business Committee to sit down and determine, you can always have a supplementary order paper on the same too. Next order. This matter is lost now.
To resolve the standoff, a decision had to be made by Deputy Speaker Farah Maalim. The original intention of the Political Parties Act was to cure the mischief of party hopping, especially after competitive nomination processes. However, it may seem as business as usual for our members of parliament who are insisting that belonging to a political party is one's right of association and they can quit when they want. Though the objectives of the amendment bill were clearly outlined, the mover, Isaac Ruto, attempted at a news conference to disown parts of the memorandum amid public uproar.
I'm not even the speaker for me to tell members you are saying something else. I found the mood was that we should just move on. So I didn't mind, because maybe the floor just wants to finish this thing and do something else.
Political party discipline and political party cohesion within a political party is more fundamental than the power, the power greed of individual politicians.
For now, proponents and opponents of unregulated party hopping can lobby in readiness for yet another showdown on the floor of the House Thursday. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9.